Good everyone, my name is Graphics. If you look the front of your screen, you see a matrix, a 3 by 3 matrix, and we want to determine the minor and cofactor of this given matrix. Now the matrix is giving us 1, 3, minus 2, 4, minus 5, 6, 3, 5, 2, right? Now one thing you need to understand is when you go along this direction, along x-axis, like in this manner, that is called the row. And if you can look closely, we have 3 rows here. This is row 1, row 2, and row 3. And if you look down this line, right, this is the group. Is that taken now? That is a column. So we have 3 columns. This is column 1, column 2, column 3. So the number of rows is equal to the number of what? Column. That is why it is called a square matrix. Now we want to look for the minor. Now you need to understand that, look at what I'm writing here. This is equivalent to this, right? The first element here, 1, is giving us A11. Second element A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. Is that okay now? This is just in one side here. Are we good? Now to calculate for the minor, I will take A11. What I mean by A11, meaning the one in front means element in the what? In the first column, first row. In the first row, first column. Are we good now? Element in the first row, first column. So that is what it means. So what I'm going to do is, I'm taking the element in the first row, first column, meaning that the minor element here is what? Is 1. So I'm considering 1, element 1. So if you take element 1 down the column and across the group, the row, right, you are going to be having what is remaining? Minus 5, 6, 5, and what? And 2. That taking, this is what you'll be having here. Now you will now look for the determinant of this. And this will now be giving us as, you open your brackets, put minus in between. Now you take the one down, this 2, to go and multiply the minus 5. So 2 minus 5 will give you what? Minus 10. You put it in this point, the first point here. Now you take the one down here at the left hand side to go up at the right hand side to multiply the 6. So 5 times 6 will give us what? 30. So minus 10 minus that will give us what? Minus 40. So meaning that I will remove the A11 here now, and I'm going to put what? I'm going to put minus 40. Right? Now we move forward. A12 meaning minor element in what? In the first row, second column. So the element in the first row, second column is the minor element 3. Are we good now? So if you consider 3, you take out 3 down the column and across the row, you'll be left with what? 4, 3, 6, 2. Alright, so I'm going to write it out here. You can see that. Now what I did earlier, I'll repeat it again. Open the bracket, put minus in between. The element down here, which is 2, we go and multiply the one up, which is 4, and you have 8. You write the 8 here. And the element down here, 3, we go and multiply the element up, which is 6. You write 3 times that, give us what? 18. So 8 minus 18 is equals to what? Minus 10. I'll go and replace it there as what? A12. So we have minus 10 there. So go to the next one again. A13. A13 is element in the first row, third column, and that is the minor element 2. So you find the element 2 there. So we'll go, that is minus 2. And if you take minus 2 down the column and what? Across the row, you'll be left with what? 4, minus 5, 3, and 5. Is that okay now? Now you look for the determinant here. This will now be equals to, you open your bracket, put minus in between. The one down, 5 will go and multiply the one up, which is 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Then 3 times minus 5 will give us what? Minus 15, right? So minus 15, we'll now be having 20 minus minus, that will be 20 plus 15, and that will be what? 35, right? So I'll go to A13, I'll remove it, and I'll put 35 there. Now, similarly, we have A21. A21 means element in the second row, first column. So the element in the second row, first column, the minor element 4, will give us, if you take 4 across the row, down the column, right, you'll be left with what? 3 minus 2, 5, and what? And 2. So if you look for determinant here, it will now be equals to, open your bracket, put minus in between. So the 2 down will go and multiply the 3, will be having 6. Then the 3 down will multiply the minus 2, will be having what? Minus 10. So 6 minus minus 10 is like 6 plus 10, and that will give us what? 16. So I'll go to A21, I'm going to remove it and put what? 16. I'm going to have A22. A22 means element in the second row, second column. So the minor element there is what? Minus 5. And that will be giving me 1. If you take minus 5 across the row, down the column at that point, what will be left will be 1 minus 2, 3, and 2, right? So if you look for the determinant here, you'll now be having, open your bracket, put minus in between. So you'll be having 2 times 1 is 2. Then 3 times minus 2 give us what? Minus 6. So 2 plus minus 6 will give you, 2 plus 6 will give you what? 8, because minus and minus is plus, right? I'm going to take out A22, and I'm going to put my 8 there. Is that okay? And I'll come to A23. A23 means element in the second row, third column, and the element in second row, third column, if you check it here, it is what? 6. So when you consider 6 down the column and across the row, you're left with 1, 3, 3, 5, right? So when you look for the determinant, that will now give you 5. You just open your bracket, put minus in between. 3 times 1, 5 times 1 is 5. Then 3 times 3 is what? 9. 5 minus 10 is what? Minus 4. So you remove the A23 and replace it with what? Minus 4, right? That is the minor there. So we'll come to the next one, A31, meaning element in the third row, right? First column. So the minor element in the third row, first column is what? Is 3, right? So if you take 3 down the column and across the row, you left with what? 3 minus 2 minus 5 and what? And 6 equals to, you look for determinant, put minus in between. 3 times 6 times 3 is 18. Minus 5 times minus 2 give you what? 10, because minus 10 minus is plus. So we're having what? 18 minus 10, and that is what? 8. So remove the 831, and I'll put what? My 8 there. Is that taken? Now A32 mean element in the third row, second column, and the element in third row, second column is 5. So consider 5 down the column and across the group. You'll be left with 1, 4 minus 2 and what? And 6. So if you look for determinant, you'll now be having, open your bracket here, you have minus. So 6 down will go and multiply 1, you'll be left with 6. 4 down will go and multiply minus 2, you'll be left with minus 8. So we're having 6 minus minus 8, that means 6 plus 8, and that is what? 14. So you remove 832 and you put in what? Your 14 there. Are we together now? Now the next one is A33, meaning element in the third row, third column, and that is the minor element 2. So when you consider 2 down the column and across the group, you're left with what? 1, 3, 4 minus 5. So if you do the needful, look for determinant here. This will not be equals to, open your bracket, put minus in between. Minus 5 times 1 is minus 5, is going up. Then 4 times 3 is what? Is 12. So minus 5 minus 12 will give us what? Minus what? 17. Is that taken now? So you remove the A33 and you put minus 17. So what you see at this side here, this right hand side here, is the minor. Are we good now? Is what is the minor. Now for we to look for the cofactor. Now for the cofactor, what you should simply do here is that you're going to use the formula is -1 raised to power what? The row times what? The raised to power the row plus the column, right? So meaning that if I'm considering A11, it will be A11 is what? It will be -1 raised to power what? 1 plus 1, right? And that is even to give you 1 no matter what. If I consider A12, it will be -1 raised to power what? 1 plus 2. And that will give you what? -1 raised to power what? Minus raised to power what? Raised to power 3. And that is odd number. The power is odd. So no matter what you do, -1, -1, -1 will always give you -1. So that's what you do for everything. So to cut the long story short, to make things easier, what you should do when you hear the word cofactor, just put the first element to be plus, second element minus, third element plus, fourth element minus, fifth element plus, sixth element minus, seventh element plus, eighth element minus, ninth element plus. So this is what you do here. This is what we call the cofactor. So you multiply each of those signs with what you have as your answer. So if I multiply -40 times plus times -40 will always give you if you have -40 here, right, and you want to look for the cofactor, no matter what you do, you'll be having -40 times plus will give you -40. The next one is -10 times minus will give you +10. The next one is plus, we still be left with what? 35. Next one is what? 16. Minus times 16 will give you minus 16, right? Then the next one will give you plus times 8 will give you 8. Then we have minus times -4 will give you +4. We have 8 times positive will give you positive. We have 14 times minus will give you -14. Then we have 17 times plus will give you -17 times plus will give you what? -17, right? So what you just see here, we just did is the cofactor. You get the logic here now? So this is what you have here. We are successfully calculated for what? The cofactor, right? And to save our time, if we are not told to look for the transpose, right? So transpose means that what? You are going to change the position of the row to become the column and the column to become the row. How did I mean? So since this is my cofactor, I'm going to change what? I'm going to change the row, so I will not be having 40, right, 10, and what? 35 to be vertical now. I'll do the same thing for the rest. I'll be having what? We're having -16 plus 8. Then we have what? 4. Right? You see that I'm putting them vertical instead of horizontal. Then I'll do the same thing for the last one too. So this is what I'll now be having. I'll be having 8, right? 14. They're taking 8 minus 14 and what? And -17. So I've changed the row to become the column. So this is what? The transpose of the cofactor. And whenever you transpose the cofactor, that is what we call the adjoint. You get the logic now? So this is our adjoint. So whenever you are told to look for the adjoint, it means that what? You are going to transpose what? The cofactor. And for you to get the cofactor, you need to look for what? The minor. Are we together now? So in this video, I have successfully taught you on how to calculate for the adjoint and follow the process from the minor to what? To the cofactor, then to the transpose. That will give us what? The adjoint. So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.